Thank you, distinguished chairman and members. Well, the very major question which was raised by the chairman and of course distinguished senator, just manager, had to do with considering the patriot budgetary provision, how we plan to bridge the funding gap. Well, let me say, really, we believe that at the ministry we have no control on revenue inflow, which obviously seriously affected us in 2013. But we also believe that relevant MDAs who have control over this are doing their utmost, and we expect to see an improvement in the 2014 budgetary year in terms of revenue inflow, which will rub off on the releases to the ministry. But beyond that, for us at the Federal Ministry of Works, I think tapping resources from off-budget sources is where we are going to be focusing our attention. Because from what we have tried to experiment with on projects I spoke about a while ago, for instance on the Lagos-Ibadan, where we have been working, and finally we secured a private finance initiative. We believe that it is an avenue that is open for us. Other avenues under the off-budget sources of financing road infrastructure, which we also want to explore in this year during the 2014 appropriation year, would be special intervention funds. Already the ministry is benefiting from the shopping funds under that category, and of course loans from development partner and multilateral agencies. We've already applied at the Federal Road Development Project loan that was taken from the World Bank, which the World Bank granted the ministry since 2009, which has been fully utilized. We are working towards to have the second phase of that particular program come on stream. Of course, like the distinguished senator Gimande referred to, yes, we went to China, and part of our takeaway from the China trip includes a $285 billion $285 million fund, which will be devoted to the dualization of the Kefi Makurdi 9th Mile Road, the first section of that road. In fact, even in this budget, we have budgeted for some counterpart funding, a little counterpart fund, in order to guarantee that we'll have access to this money. And we're going to be looking at so many other alternatives from the private sector. But we do believe too that as a nation, we should be spending appropriately on road infrastructure, just like the chairman said a while ago. If you look at smaller nations in Africa, if you look at Zambia, for instance, with a road network of just about 7,000 kilometers, they spend annually about $1 billion on road development. If you look at our position in 2013, we have not even spent, I think 50% of what they spend on a network of 7,000 kilometers is what we are spending on a network of about 35,000 kilometers. So it is far inadequate from where we want to be. So we really honestly need to have a change of attitude. Like I said, we expect that through some of these intervention funds and through more private finance initiative, we should be able to raise private sector funds, particularly for application on critical road infrastructure that are economic in nature. In other words, so that some of these funds can be recouped through appropriate tolling. That brings me to the question raised by Senator Gimande on what has happened to some of the initiatives we talked about last year, like the road tolls, petrol, fuel tax, and other user charges. This year we are going to be aggressive on some of these issues. For instance, we are going to push for the implementation of the 5% fuel tax for road maintenance. And of course, we have other user charges, the international vehicle transit charge for people driving into Nigeria. In fact, it's only in Nigeria, the whole of the West Africa region, sub-region, that do not take those charges. But when Nigerians drive into those other countries, they pay these charges. And there's no reason why we cannot put that in place across all our motorable border points or point of entry into our country. So we're going to be pushing for things like that that can, of course, generate funds for us to plow back into road development. I think that is exactly the only option, even as we crave for enhanced budgetary provision for some of these critical road projects.